second.
Hello everyone, and welcome.
Good morning everyone, my name is Thomas, and I am the composer for this session.
And I'm Catherine Leeds, I'm the poet.
And today our presentation about the collaborative process in composition for poet and composer is to highlight the process in how we collaborate with the text from the poet's perspective, from the composer's perspective, and also just the extenuating factors afterwards as well.
So like I just said, I'm Catherine. I'm a poet and musician. I'm in my third year studying voice here at Eastern, and I've been writing my whole life, but only recently did I decide to start sharing my poems and seek publication. And I've been published in the EMU's literary magazine, Cellar Roots, several times, and I was a semi-finalist in a national poetry competition last year, which was so exciting. And I also started sharing my poems on social media around that time, just because I was curious about if anyone was interested in what I had to say. And turns out a lot of people were, including Thomas, who reached out to me and asked if he could set some of my poems to music, which was really exciting. And I was so excited to begin this collaboration process, especially with this piece that you'll hear today, I Will Listen, because as I was writing it, I was really thinking about it as kind of a musical piece, just with the rhythms and the rhyme scheme. I was picturing it as being a piece of music. So when it comes to this piece, the inspiration behind it really came from, going through a lockdown and pandemic and sort of being forced to be quiet and listen. And I started thinking about what it means to listen. I started thinking about what purpose does listening serve. And I'll let the audience answer those questions as you listen to this poem. But for me, what I found is that listening is the road that leads us to empathy, which is a fundamental part of what makes us human, and it's a fundamental part of what connects us together. And so here I have this quote, which says, "Poetry is where logic breaks down, but language still functions to inform us in unexpected ways." It's from the Society of Ethnomusicology Journal, and when I read it, I just was really inspired because I feel like music is so similar to poetry in that way, where both these mediums use a combination of sound, silence, over a period of time to evoke emotions within an audience and a listener. And so I hope that you feel that as you listen to this piece.
So my compositional journey started back in high school when one of my friends and I, we would get onto this music notation software called MuseScore and just start plugging in notes and seeing what would happen. And as time went on, as years went on, I started to want to do more with it. And I wanted to start creating some more art with this and start putting something into the universe that can be long lasting. And as I started doing this, my main area is choral art and vocal art song. So I started looking at text and reading a whole bunch of different texts and poems and everything. I came across Catherine's on social media one day, and I was taken away by it just because how lyrical our music was and how the melody just sung to me immediately. So I immediately messaged Catherine, like, how many poems you got? How many can we set to music? I'm ready for it, let's do this. And as I got into this process, I was working on 6 pieces right now for choral ensembles. I looked to find ways that we could paint the text. And I look at this quote by Plato: "Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything." As a way to guide my compositional process, as I'm looking at, while the melody is sung, where is the text going to be painted, where it is the best way possible. And as I looked through it, I was also finding ways to see where the silence was going to be met with resounding success. And on top of that as well, looking at the ways that dissonance can play a role in shaping and painting this canvas. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about when I say dissonance, you'll hear some chords today that might sound wrong. That's intentional. Dissonance is allowing it to feel the crunch so you can also allow yourself to paint a much more intricate picture. Our canvas as composers and poets and musicians is, as composers, the sheet music we have, but as we bring it to an ensemble, the ensemble that we have, that's our canvas. We can create this music and bring it to life. That's the intention of music. So as we're looking and as you're listening today to I Will Listen, I want you to think about the text and think about how the melody lays through, where the text is highlighted in the portions like Morning Dove, where the dissonance really lies on that phrase, or of life and of love, of pain and sorrow, where dissonance really just digs in, especially in the treble voices, to really bring that point across. So as you're listening to it, allow yourself to think through that text and think through the ways that the music has helped shape the text. So what becomes next? What is the next steps that we take in this journey? And the first one for us, we wanted to get these published, and as of right now, we'll be working on self-publishing through my own personal websites. And that will be, this piece that you're hearing today will actually be published as of next week. So right before Easter, for anybody looking for fall repertoire, there you go. And we're doing this self-publishing because we want to find a way for equal disbursement of pay between both Catherine and I. And while it's not about the money, we want there to be equal representation with the work that is being put in, because it is hours of work for both of us as we work to do this.
And when it comes to getting this piece out there, probably the most valuable thing we can do is record this piece so that more people can listen to it. So we're going to be prioritizing creating ensembles like this one to perform and record these pieces so more people can listen to it.
And as we mentioned with that recording with the ensemble, we'd like to welcome this ensemble up on stage now. This ensemble is composed of current EMU students, part of the voice area and choral area as well, along with many alumni who have taken their time out of their busy lives to bring new arts and new music into the world. And we are so grateful for everything that they have done for this. So we thank you for coming here to this session. Thank you for being at the 43rd Annual Undergraduate Symposium. If you have any questions for us, we'll be down here at the front afterwards to answer any questions you have, and we'll also be willing to give our emails as well. But without further ado, a reading of the poem I Will Listen and a performance of I Will Listen.
I will listen. Speak to me, I will listen. Like a blade of grass, waiting to hear the rain fall. Like a morning dove, waiting to hear her mate's call. As still as a dove amid flowers of May, I will listen to whatever you say. Whatever you need to say, I can take it. Wrap it up in my arms in a blanket of my love for you. If your world is too much to bear, I will drape you in all of my care, and you'll glisten. If you speak to me, you will glisten. Like a waterfall shimmering in the light rays. Like the fallen snow, dazzling in the sun's blaze. As bright as the moon with a pale white glow, you will glisten if you tell me all you know of life and love, of pain and sorrow. I will listen to you as you tell me about tomorrow, how it pulls you under, how you're drowning in the merciless blue. I will listen, and I will weep with you. And I'll hold you if you ask me to. If you let me, I will listen to you.
tomorrow, how it pours you under, you're drowning in a merciless blue. I will listen and I will weep with you. And I'll hold you if you ask me to. If you let me, I will listen to you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Thomas or Catherine? Yes?
So I have a question for Thomas. So we are looking, I guess this actually kind of goes for both of you. So we are looking at the words of a poem. How do you assign chords, especially like dissonant chords? How does that come to your mind? Like, what is the process for that?
I personally, for me, when I'm working with this, I first hear where the melody lies, and then I start listening to where it just goes. Like sometimes you just feel where the music goes with where the text lies. Sometimes it's about playing around on the piano, just figuring out what chord actually is the right chord. And sometimes also it's defying music theory. But Saker will hate me later for that. It's fine. But when it comes down to finding out where the chords really lie, it just as I start plucking in notes and see where it really lies, it's just about feeling what's right with what the text is trying to portray.
Well, I don't know. When I'm writing, I don't know, I feel like tension and release is also a big part of just the words and the structure of the poem as well. So Thomas did a great job reflecting that with his composing. So
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you for attending today. There are two more sessions this afternoon, Session C and Session D. We hope you will be back. There's a couple of music